Welcome back, guys. The other day I was having a quick look at the engines because like this is my favourite part of the boat, but we haven't got time to do anything with the engines. So what I did, I removed the breather off the top of the engine. I started with the port engine, had a look inside, absolutely beautiful, nice and dark oil, yeah. Lifted this one and it's not right. Let's take this off and I'll show you. I don't even want to look under here again. You tell what was coming? Probably seen it on the thumbnail. Right, so I'm no cat expert, but I think we all know what's going on with this, don't we? We know there's definitely water in there, and to me it looks like salt water in there. So what we need to do is pull the cover and have a proper look right along it and see how bad it is. I'm hoping that the water is basically evaporated. And what's it called? It's crystallised. It's when the salt comes out of it. It's crystallised at the top. So I'm hoping it's localised to the top end. Right, let's get it stripped down. Notice the bolts are coming off. The heater plug wiring will come off okay. Right, we're ready for the big reveal. I don't want to see what's under here. I really don't, but hey ho, here we go. Oh shit.
Houston,
Houston,
I think we got a problem.
I think it could be worse.
See ya.
Yeah. The cover's not looking too happy. It's amazingly thin. Feels like it's off a Fiesta or something.
Just get the jet wash in there.
I've done that in the past with like small engines that have gone all carboned up. Right, okay, so just sort of to clarify, we get a lot of people saying like, oh, I want to come and do your engines, I want to come do your engines, I want to do the engines. I've built plenty of engines. Nothing this big. If I'm honest with you, I don't really like diesels. Feel like high revving motorcycle engines, but engine's an engine, isn't it? I'm sure a lot of people in the comments are like, oh no, an engine's not an engine, but you know what I mean. I want to do this.
People don't realise how good of a mechanic Simon is, because obviously we've never had to do anything to sort of show his skill set on that. A lot of you mightn't be aware that we actually hold the world record for the world's fastest motorhome.
Yeah.
You know, and
we've won motorcycle championships with engines that I've built.
So we know what we're doing. Well, no,
No,
I'm not
okay.
saying we. Simon knows what he's doing when it comes to engines. I don't.
No, we know our limitations.
Yeah.
But hey, it's got valves and it's big. Right, so what we need to do now is get the rocker arms off, don't we? Well, I think we'll give it a quick hoover first before we start disturbing too much. and then we'll take the rocker arms off, and then yeah, see how we get on. They're very basic though, aren't they? I was expecting a bit more, don't know, cleverness in there, but it's just so basic. Right, let's pull it off. Right, so we've definitely got a lot of water in there, haven't we? So we've got 2 water circuits, and we've got the raw water, and we've got the fresh water, which has got the glycol in it. So there's 2 separate. I personally don't think the corrosion in here is from the glycol circuit. I think it's from the saltwater circuit. I'd have half expected to see some crystals from the salt, and I'm pretty sure I did the other day, but I can't really see any crystals. There's some good close-up pictures, but I'm just sort of trying to investigate before we start cleaning it up. So I've got my money on salt, and the only place the salt water can be getting in is the raw water pump. So I think that needs rebuilding as well, doesn't it? All of this at the moment is really unscheduled maintenance. I was planning on doing this a couple of years down the line. There's no point really doing too much maintenance now, is there? But this, if it is salt, this has to be addressed sooner rather than later, hence us doing it now. You can sort of see right down into the engine, and down there looks really nice. So the water boils off the engine and then condensates, doesn't it? The highest point, right on this piece of tin here, condensates, gets there, starts corroding and makes all this mess. So now we haven't got any proper evidence. What we'll do is basically clean all this up, pull all the rocker gear off, take that to the workshop, mint it. We need to dump the oil, and we need to find the source of the water leak. Yeah. You can't properly see on the camera down in the depths of the engine, but there's no corrosion down there. But another problem we may have come across is bits of this corrosion may have fell down into the engine. We'll obviously have a primary pump, a primary filter in the sump that will pick up the big chunks. Then obviously the oil filter will pick it up, so we need to change the oil filter. We're not going to pull the sump just yet. So here's our raw water pump, and I personally think this here is the only place that the raw water and the oil come in close contact. So we need to pull that as well. But let's give the engine a quick clean first. Now this is mainly water going into the hoover. Hopefully Gemma's not got to do any like precision hoovering, you know what she's like. Right, I've hoovered all the loose off now. So what I need to do is try and get these big bolts off here. I'm not sure how tight they are, but all I've got is a little 1/2 inch ratchet, so see how we get on. Quite tight.
Want me to do it?
I think we need an extension on this ratchet, because otherwise I'm going to have a hernia. Fortunately, or unfortunately, all I can find is this massive big bar which we used to barricade the doors with. So, yeah, do you want to come and assist, Gem? Right. Oh yeah, it's fun. Here you go. Let's see if we can get that now. Yes, okay. Okay. Let's see if we can get a click out of that. Yeah, we got a click. Oh yes. Right, next one. Okay, one. Oh yes, one.
Oh.
Perfect. Very strong, my work. Okay. Cool. Beautiful. Obviously, I knew when we changed the oil about a year ago, I knew there was water in the oil. Wasn't massively fussed, as in, I thought, well, we're pulling the head at some point anyway, so. Or be a cooler or something like that, or the heat exchanger. But now I suspect it's salt. We kind of have to do something about it, don't we? I'm a bit gutted about on myself that I didn't notice that it was potentially salt earlier on. But hence that's why we've got to do something about it now. Unfortunately, these are head bolts. I don't think we'll be doing a gasket just yet. We wouldn't have disturbed the gasket. Right, so now we're going to remove the push rods. So the push rods run on the camshaft, operate the rocker arm, which then operate the valve. But to do that, we're going to put them in order or in sequence, because technically these ends have like ran in and sort of bedded into their corresponding rocker arm or cam follower, and then we'll actually check them all for the straightness. And we can clean them all up, take them in and out of there. Anyway, you get the gist. Okay, put this most safe. I'd like to say we're about 90% of the way through the cleaning, and it's actually cleaned up really well. Started with the Hoover, bit of diesel on a small wire brush, plugged all the holes, hoovered that up, sort of rinse and repeat, if that makes sense. Now we're just down to like the final bit of cleaning. On your love?
Yeah.
It's not above your head. Is it because you say hot? Well, it's not gone off yet, has it?
Trying to clean your own engine.
Looks like you're just about to use your hair.
Eye brush.
Yes.
It's got more paint flakes in it than anything.
Yeah, that's actually been a bit of a nemesis. This charge cooler keeps hemorrhaging. I think before we build it, we'll put some tape over that just to stop the flaky paint coming off. Right, so I think the next jobs might have to do rock, paper, scissors with Gemma on this one, but is we need to dump the oil. Now we've cleaned the top end. Did use like a little bit of diesel on the top end, so obviously I didn't mind using that because I knew that the oil was going to get dumped. We'll probably end up changing the oil 2 or 3 times because we know it's had water in it. So yeah, let's start pulling the oil out, and at the same time we'll start pulling the pump off it. You gotta take the oil out?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm good at pumping.
You actually suck, so you're not actually.
I'm not good at that.
What else we do now?
Pumping and sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So we were just having a little discussion because there's a little valve on the side of the engine, which basically you can extract the gear oil or the engine oil from the same valve. Basically, quite a good spot to do it, but we couldn't remember which way it was. But then we remembered.
I drew on it last time.
You drew on it.
Well, I put a G for gear and an E for engine, so that was good.
Easy squeezy.
Yes.
Looks like a good exercise you're doing now, or a funny dance.
Got Irish gig going on.
You don't need to keep pumping.
No.
I see people I see people pumping these, right, just forever. I think what I do is create a
Vacuum.
Oh, it's a depression, isn't it? So, yeah, it's lowering the pressure, so it has to come up. This takes quite a long time just to get the oil out. So, while Gemma's getting the oil out, what should we pull first? I think we'll pull the oil filter off.
Just not my leg.
One pull the leg, and then we'll take the raw water pump off, which means I'm doing like a load of hose clips as well. But I think I might just cut them, and I'll get Gemma on the old Amazon, and we'll find some nice, fancy new silicone hoses. Right, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to try. Can't find me oil filter strap. And I remembered, I don't think we had the oil filter strap. We had to use some big grips, didn't we, last time? But if I remember correctly, Gemma put this one on, so it might not be that tight.
Cheeky. What are you saying?
Huh? Okay, I'm going to come up with plan B. I'm not quite got it yet, but I will come up with one.
Sure, I thought we had the strap on.
I'm going to have another look.
He's had a man look, should I go and have a woman look?
Yeah, come on. So we definitely got one somewhere, can't find it. But what we have got, which I've never used ever in my whole entire life, is a ratchet strap. Well, I've used a ratchet strap, but I've never used one for this particular application. If it'll work.
February 23 they were changed.
Oh, it's due anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. Right, so I'll get this off now. There you go. Got a look around, don't you? For
It's amazing when we replace these filters, and in the video I written the date on them in the actual video. See, like that. And the amount of comments I had saying, you should have written the date on them filters.
right, we're gonna get some comments for this video, you know, definitely. Is that bucket, you know, a small bucket? There's gonna be people going, oh my god, that engine is absolutely toast. There are people going, I think you dodged a bullet. But I think basically only time will tell, won't it? I'll put the dips back on for now.
That's my oil draining situation there.
Yeah, you're doing well. You're up to here.
Okay.
How many pumps was that?
I don't know.
Gemma's tired today. Probably already told you.
No, I haven't, because this is a different video.
Oh, yeah, we started a different video today as well. And it was too windy outside to before, so that. Let's do engine stuff. Yeah, Gemma went fishing over the weekend with the Crusader ladies fishing team. So I'm very, very proud of them. Okay, it's not quite as milky as last time. I wasn't going to pour in that white bucket, but...
Oh no, look at that, my clean bucket.
Right, there's already a bit of crap in there. You can see a bit of moisture in there already.
Yeah, it's got water in.
But...
Oh.
Do you remember last time it was proper milk, wasn't it? And like, now it's not quite as milky as last time, so... But it's definitely milky.
Yeah.
Okay, of course so. Well, that kind of means that this problem's been here for a long time. And I'm still quite upset with myself for not doing anything about it. But now I know about it, you have to do something, don't you? So if you've got a problem with something, you know about it, fix it. Hold on. Right, so we need to get this pump off because I think the oil leak is somewhere between here and here. but we won't know where the seals are until we actually pull it.
Oil leak or water leak?
Good question. Well, it could be going both ways. So what's got the most pressure? So I'm kind of guessing that the water will have the most pressure. So well, we know that the water's gone that way, don't we? So there's a water leak into the oil, isn't it? But what I don't know is how to take this apart. It's obviously gear driven. So there's going to be some gears in here turning the shaft, which then turns the impeller. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get to these bolts here, because there's some bolts right up behind, which I don't know whether we'd be able to do those. So I think we just pull the whole thing off, and we can have a look at more of the engine, can't we? So these are all the raw water hoses, the hard pipes. I was expecting them to be all a bit geared up, but they're not, so that's a good sign. So we can now just about see inside the pump. It's looking quite good. Right, so I've undone all these bolts on there, so we'll see if we can get the whole pump off. What we're a bit concerned about is gear driven. There shouldn't be anything on the other side of the pump, but we're going to find out, aren't we? Shouldn't really use a chisel, but it's been a bit stubborn, this pump, to get it off, so. Right, so I'm wobbling this, it's come away now, but doesn't really want to seem to come away. I don't want to force it. So there is a gear down there which you can just about see. You probably can't really see it there. The gear's not really wobbling that much, so there might be a nut on the back of the gear or something. So what I'm going to do is pull this plate off here, and then we can see if we can see anything right on the end. Oh, bugger.
Why is it having a wee?
Why is that leaking water? What's behind there? Is it part? That's coolant, man. Why have we got coolant behind there? Hang on, is that the actual water? Oh shit, that's the water pump. Is it ready? So we've now just found the lowest point in the cooling system. So obviously the water pump's here, driven off the same shaft that the raw water pump is there, isn't it? Got no smell of antifreeze in here now, so that's good.
Go well, Si.
Great, this. Turns out she holds quite a bit of water as well. I'm glad I didn't just pull that plate off. Imagine that. Yeah, I really thought this plate here was just like a blanking plate for like an auxiliary, something, hydraulic pump or something, but apparently not. Apparently we've got to find like a centrifugal pump up behind there, but now is this bucket going to be big enough? Luckily I've got lots of buckets, so let's go and get one just in case. It's bath time.
That's the cleanest water we've got on the boat, that. Wash my hands in it. So my only concern is now is the amount of water this is just peed out. We've got to fill this back up, which means carrying loads of water back over with us when the time comes.
You can put this back in it for now. When I first went into motor trade, it was with Ferrari, and we used to have to drop the engines out to do cam belts and X, Y, Z. A lot of the customers used to want to put the old antifreeze back in because they were proper tight, you know. Yeah, the people who own Ferraris are well tight. I'm not saying if you own a Ferrari that you're tight, but maybe that's why I'm tight. I don't know. Save every penny.
Save all the water.
Save the water. Check that out. Right, so Gemma's found another image. So it looks like we've just got like a spline shaft going on to the gear. So, and then that's the exploded diagram of the actual pump. Because at the moment we've got it to this stage. But I say I don't really want to force it, even though it looks like it's fallen off. Yeah, you should go with Right, so I wasn't wobbling it enough, was I? That was the problem.
That looks like it needs a good clean.
I think that's where your water's coming from, isn't it? So something I noticed was there's corrosion about here. Almost looks like there's something missing. So I'd have half expected it to have a drain hole, it to leak. You know, sometimes when you see like the water pumps leak, they have a little sort of bleed hole there and you can see them actually leaking water or oil, vice versa. Yeah, that's not a happy chicken, that, is it? Right, so
can we fix it though?
of course we can.
the replacements are very, very expensive.
Yeah, all good. Right, so the reason it won't come off is because like this bearing here. So we've got a bearing that obviously supports this gear, it supports it within the pump. And this bearing has had a hard life. So that's the part that we need as well, which I didn't really expect that. I was expecting take the pump off, buy a service kit which Caterpillar sells, and rebuild the pump. But this is looking a bit more in depth now. So that's obviously been full of salt, hasn't it? You can see all that. So that's not happy. The bearing down there is shot. Yeah, this is good news, isn't it? So I need to look at some more pictures and see if that is meant to come off and stay part of the pump, or whether that stays in there. But then this bearing here looks like it's sort of part of the spline. Does that make sense? You've got the spline in there and the bearings. See, my issue is I haven't got a workshop manual for this engine because they're quite expensive. But what I have got is a parts book which gives you exploded diagrams. But that's at home. So I think, yeah, back to the workshop, back to home, we'll look at some exploded diagrams and figure out whether that's supposed to be on their part of the pump or vice versa. To the workshop. Right, so back at the workshop, let's get these parts cleaned up. Right, so they're all cleaned up a bit, then obviously haven't done the final clean up yet. I'm going to blast all these things in the sandblaster. The actual cover looks okay internally. I thought it was going to be a bit rotty, but after a good paint, after we strip it, we'll have a proper look, but I think that's definitely going to go back on. All the rocker arms look really good. Going to strip all them, clean them all up individually, rebuild that, that's all good. Right, our main issue is the pump. So there's a bearing in there which is completely toast. So I think we need to strip this down. Guessing that was the anode. Well, the impeller is relatively recent. Right, so now I need to try and get these bolts out, which is going to be awkward, I think. Start with the best one. The head on this one looks quite good. The other ones are a bit poorly. Could do a better fitting spanner, couldn't I? These are all Imperial. Majority of the stuff that I normally work on, bikes and cars and stuff, are all metric. Turns out all my boats are Imperial, so majority of my Imperial tools at the moment are on Butari, which is our training boats. We found a 1/2" ring spanner. Let's try that. Oh yeah. So they always look proper scabby on the surface. This has been like round off a few times by the looks of it. But then internally, it's nice. Bonus. And then we get to these peaches. This one doesn't look too bad, but this one's going to give us problems, isn't it? Yes. Polish. Right, so now in theory this should come off the main pump body. So I never like to really force anything. Technically now that should pop off there. As I said previous, we haven't got a workshop manual, but these are the bolts we've just removed. So we need to separate along here. So there's no retaining clips or anything like that I can find in there. All there is a seal. So technically we just need to give that a good pull without damaging anything. Bit of a plastic hammer. Alrighty. Okay. So that's quite a special seal, it looks like. And that, I think, is what is our main problem. Right, we've got a circlip there. Let's try and get out. This bearing, I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but it's completely, the cage has failed on it, so it's not happy chicken, is it? That's because it's been having like salt water flying past it, lubricating it, hasn't it? I'm glad we caught this now. This could have been like catastrophic failure. That bearing could have completely seized and caused big issues. I'm not saying we haven't got big issues, but I think we've caught it 50% of the way through it detonating itself. Yes. Right, so the circlip's out. I don't know whether the bearing and shaft will come out, or the shaft's just going to come out of the bearing or the inner race. Yeah, just the inner race, it's all fell apart. So that is actually, or was, a seal. So maybe if we knock the seal out. The seal on the bearings coming out at the same time. It's hard to show you really. There was a circlip in there, then the outer race. And there's obviously the seal behind the bearing, but with me knocking on the seal, it's taking the outer race off. So I was half expecting to have to fight this a bit more, but hey. Right, so now completely in bits. So, what we found, I think our biggest issue is the shaft. The shaft has got a big groove in it. It's only made of bronze, I think. Our biggest issue is the bearings. I think the bearings have failed because the seals have failed, but then it's been running, and now it's got a groove where the seals are. This is the seal to keep the water from going this way, and the oil seal runs in there. That's got some grooves in it. I mean, the biggest design flaw I've seen is between the two seals, between the water seal and the oil seal. There's no drain, So I think if there was a drain, that would give you a witness that you're leaking water. And I'd have thought it would have been in the body here, but I can't seem to see any it's like a weep hole. But anyway, so what I need to do now is have a look to see if there's a service kit that comes with a shaft, and if not, we'll have to buy a new pump. So I think we'll put this down for now. I'll hand that over to Gemma to do some hunting, because she's really good at that, part numbers and stuff. Right, let's see if we can clean this rocker cover up. Not doing much, is it? Ugh. Right, so the sandblaster is not very good for my complexion, so I think we're just gonna have to continue with the drill and the wire brush and the sander, and then we've got some primer which we're gonna go over. I was gonna bare metal it, but I think we just make it nice and flat. So use this. Right, so we cleaned the rocker cover up and the water pump cover up. What we need to do now is get them in primer. I've not done the best job of cleaning them up. I was hoping to get them back to bare metal in the sandblaster, but it was crazy. It wasn't really working very well. It was creating too much dust and stuff like that. Right, so we're going to prime them now. What I'm going to do, which I've been sort of debating with myself, whether to prime the inside of the cover. The cover's not the best, in the best condition, but there's nothing actually really that much wrong with it. There's a bit of like surface corrosion and stuff like that. But considering the boat gets potentially left for a long period of time, and it could potentially, if there was any moisture, it could condensate and corrode. So I'm going to prime the inside anyway. I don't know whether that's the right thing to do. I've seen paint inside engines before. I don't think it'll do any harm, but we're here to learn, aren't we? Right, so we're going to be using some Raptor 2K primer. So this is actually 2K primer. It's the best primer I know when I can. It's got like a little internal reservoir inside, which obviously puts the hardener into it. Once you fire this, I think you get like 24 hours or something like that of the can, then the can's dead then, so you can't come back to reuse it. That's the only downside, but it's the best stuff. So I've given it a good shake already. So what you do is there's like a little red lid thing. You basically put that on the little nipple thing there, push that down, and then once that's gone, yeah, that's gone, I think. Yeah, it's gone now. Now that has now put another element, put the hardener into the paint, and then you give that a good shake, and it probably says to shake it for 2 minutes. Right, so fast forward this bit, and then we'll get to painting. Right, let's add a coat of primer now. It's actually turned out quite well. A bit nervous when you're painting over other paint that it might react, didn't react. Right, let's turn our attention to the rocker gear. Is that what it's called? Rocker gear? The rockers. So basically, jet washed the majority of the crap off it. Everything's dead free. I don't know whether it's worth opening it all up. The actual shafts and where they run, the old galleries and stuff like that, they're all spot on. Everything moves like brilliant. It says is it worth taking it all apart? It's like opening a can of worms, everything's matched. Obviously I would number everything and everything would go back the same. Or is it worth pulling them back, giving the airline a blow down the gallery? Yeah. It's got like strange little clips on the end. Do we take it apart? Right, I don't think it's worth opening the can of worms, taking it all apart. What I've noticed is the oil is fed. That's on like number 6. Well, it's on the extremity. It's right on the back end of the engine. I'm presuming it's number 6. There's like a very small hole down there. So the oil comes up through the head bolt, and then feeds this shaft. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the airline. We'll start blowing on number 1, making sure that the air comes out of there. And if we've got free flowing air, then I'm happy. Yeah. So if I just work my way along and do that.
So I got on to Finn and Cat about a replacement water pump. £3,453.17. No. So after a bit of Googling, I found this company called Water Motor, and that looks like the pump that we need for a fraction of the price. But it is still out of our budget, so we are going to save up and then buy a new pump and get the engine sorted as soon as we can. So thank you all for watching. See you all soon.